It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think?
All right, we're back. We're ready to go. I promised it was a short break, and we're ready to go. First map of the first best of 3 in Boss taking on Take Flight. Boss now going to be on the CT side, and it's Laz and Paladin to take you through it.
Excited to be here, Boss and Take Flight. A spot at Jönköping would be fantastic for either one of these rosters to get there. We're going to kickstart it with the 32-year-old talent, Hone Alone, getting that first frag up there. Fang, the debutant on Boss, will go down early, so it'll take a little bit more time to see him into play. As Beaky gets 2. Great to see him have this early start. And Take Flight have run rampant on this A side, trying to get the bomb down, but it doesn't matter when you're getting frags like these. Beaky with 3 now.
Yeah, this is big, right? This is exactly what we were talking about. We were saying, look, Beaky needs to come alive, and so far he's been able to find 3, just devouring them. Still looking for a little bit more, but Darty right now, he is coming from the back lines in Palace. He might be able to find something. The trigger discipline gets gifted 1. Looking for a little bit more, but now that bomb, it's actually going to rotate all the way out. CoJo's just trying to be a good distraction, but it's all just leaving it now for Beaky by himself here on his own, going towards the B site. And now it's just this last player, CoJo, here to cause a bit more of a distraction point. It's going to be 2 one-on-one fights coming into this. This is just insane. And now CoJo finally goes down. It's all down to this plant. Can Beaky do it? Oh my goodness. He gets away from the stray of bullets. Coming in, he spots the shoulder. Looking longer, but there's only 15 seconds. Time is ticking. A P2K. It's just not panning out nicely here, Paladin. This is becoming a little worse to wear. 6 seconds remaining. And there it is with Boss scraping through a round.
It's so unfortunate there from Take Flight. You get Beaky with the triple, you get the sight control as well, but there's just no safe haven for them to really get the bomb down. They don't have CT control. They don't have even jungle control either. So Beaky, although he gets that triple, he says, look guys, I'm going to have to hightail it back to B. I'm going to have to try to get the plant down there. But Freshie read it. Even after the Palace player and Darty was working on CoJo there, he still made that right decision, Freshie, to at least stop the plant and stall for long enough for Darty to come through. And then from then on out, there's no way that plant is ever going to happen. There's no way the round's ever going to happen. And now Boss can run rampant. Quick 2-0 start for them. Blink and you miss it. And Take Flight will have their guns out in the following. But man, oh man, what a start there for Boss in a pretty chaotic first round.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the fact that they didn't even get the bomb down in the first round here for Take Flight, definitely going to causes that, extra round that we just got to see. It was a quick speed run round, and now they're going to finally have the AKs across the board ready to go. But this is a big test now because, I mean, this is still double MP9s are on the CT side with the FAMAS here of Cryptic. It actually does look like Take Flight going for a 4-1 split. CoJo now going to be the sole player here to throw all the utility. So he's going to get ready to throw that smoke wall. But Freshie now close on by. Gabe leading this charge, and that's a beautiful shot to start things off. Fang can't seem to find anything here. He can't buy a frag. Now Take Flight. It's looking like a smooth coordinates here in the sky. Cryptic finds his 1, but it's not going to matter at all. This is looking so much better for Take Flight. Look at again, Beaky. This is just mayhem, leaving it down to Darty.
That's crispy. That's crispy stuff from Take Flight. A simple A execute. Flashes are sublime. Freshie can't get anything. And as soon as he gets that opening frag, it does feel like there's nothing that Take Flight can do wrong. Gabe does a great job there on the entry work. And now, Boss will have to save things on over. Darty Montana in the apartments will like to hold on to even these bits of utility as well. But Beaky's on the hunt already. Don't necessarily know if he's aware of this. He is, and he'll collect the frag, but 38th health to his name. He'll deploy the smoke grenade just to stall onto it a little bit longer. They should be fine, bar any shenanigans. MEDS might give some sound cues away. They do, but it's all good now. And that's Boss actually giving away their first round to Take Flight. And I actually like that. I like the pace there from Take Flight. I like the balls that they showed basically to fight Freshie there earlier on and to do it dry as well. As soon as they get that pick, they throw the flashes over the top and then on out. Like, there is no real work that those Boss members can do on that A side. They kind of just have to give it over.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's such a good point because again, like we were talking about, is the fact that CoJo's, the one that's getting ready for all the utility. But as soon as Gabe gets that opening duel, and look at that, like you said, they're just gonna flood into this. They don't even care. They don't want to wait things out at all. They're just gonna hold W, get this site. It's gonna be a full retake now. Pone alone here with the AWP. Locked in, finds the first initial, takes down Gabe. So now leaving it for a 5-on-4. The advantage here in terms of manpower is going to be for Boss, but again, it's a double MP9, limited utility, double smokes with a flash and an HE. The second last piece of utility being burned here from Take Flight. The CT's just waiting things out, biding time as much as they can. The nade, this could be chunky. Oh man, CoJo survives with the skin of his teeth, and the M4 sprays from Fang, but it's not more than one. Leaving it now to a 2-on-2. These CTs, they gotta make a decision. It's gonna be a TK from Darty. Deceiving to get out of this. He takes down his Opper. He recovers it. Beaky might be able to find this timing, and he does. And there's Take Flight again, bouncing back beautifully.
The problem with that round for Boss is they put all their gamble they gambled completely on mid control there. And as you saw, it was again the same contact flooding into the A site. This time without any initial utility for Boss to detect. And then as soon as they spill into the site, sure, Ponalone gets that one kill. But the after plant is so hard for Boss to dislodge with no Molotovs and no smoke grenades to really cut things off. And Take Flight can kind of just rule the roost there. It was difficult for them to get back into it, even with the flanks. That Pals player did a very good job there. And now, Boss are relegated to pistols. So CoJoMo will get that all back in his hands. And they'll just contact their way out into the B site. There is a stack here, and there's a Zeus kill on deck as well for Freshie. There is no recovery here. Actually, say that Freshie does have that AK recovered. And now at least Fang in the clutch, he gets one on the P250, but it's not enough. Great damage there from Boss to keep the economy in check, but it isn't the round. CoJo will get that last one locked and loaded.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a really costly round, though, right? I mean, at least they can still keep the op in kind of the rotation here for Take Flight. But again, they lost 4 players on that, and that was a lighter purchase coming in from Boss. So that's a really nice round, all things considered. The fact they don't pick it up. Now we're going to see the M4s across the board. Not a single A4. It feels a little bad, Paladin, I'm not going to lie. But either way, kind of, preserves the cash a little bit here with some of that utility. Now it begs the question about mid. No smoke window going to be coming through yet. Shutout now just kind of posted up here in mid. Very interesting. So now just leaving them. And now having an interesting split coming in.
They want to at least get some sort of mid control via shutout. And I do like that they're opting in for that mid control. They'll come back through underpass. So they've got a lot of options now that they've cleared out the B side of the map. But as the dust settles, they can try to come back into getting some connector control. Maybe spill out onto that A site. Could still always reroute back into the B side as well, but it's into window, and I think a sound cue is made. Freshie gets a trade, and Cryptic, yeah, capitalizes on that sound cue and takes down Gabe. Now into the 4v3, options have to be taken by Take Flight. They want to go back to the second letter of the alphabet.
Yeah, still CoJo has a ton of utility, though. He's got the smoke. Oh, this could be big, too, though, right? This lurk, this could be everything. Darty. Does he expect him to shut it? You gotta look left, bro. You gotta look left, and he still does in time. Darty does a little bit of damage, but it's just not enough. Cryptic now on count, trying his best.
Oh.
Gets deleted by the op now, leaving it to the 2 M4s. They're out of here, Paladin. They want nothing to do with this retake. And now Take Flight put themselves in another advantage with 2 rounds. And I wouldn't say convincing, but it's definitely a fashion.
Yeah, they're starting to string together rounds, and that's what matters. We were hoping that they wouldn't get into the pit of despair if they had lost a couple rounds in a row, but the gumption is there, and the game plan is working out to a T right now for Take Flight. I love that little mid-round call to move back on over to the B site. You got a double setup into the window, and sure, they were able to suss out one of the players, but that sound cue actually comes back to haunt Cryptic as Shutout is able to get into the CT spawn right into market window, and there's nothing that Boss can really do. There's no way for Darty to really detect that. Sure, he had a couple bullets shot through, but it wasn't enough in the end. And Take Flight understand that they've got quite the advantage here. Boss will take attack timeout, really discuss things out, try to have Cryptic rally the troops. Because so far, it's not necessarily coming together. Hopefully Axe has a solution here.
No, and I do like this, though. I mean, you're sitting at a 4-2 right now. Yeah, I mean, the money's not great right now for Boss, so I do like this. I mean, it's a lot of conversation because you got the M4 or the AK kind of floating. You kind of just use those as like the heavy-hitting weapons and kind of lightly buy around it. Do you heavily invest into this? So some good conversations and even a setup change now too, right? I mean, both these teams on Mirage don't have the strongest CT side. So I think for Take Flight, like, again, they're banking a lot here on the odds of their T side to get as many as possible. But right now, Boss are in a prime position. Yeah, there you go. You can only see a little bit of money spent, 800, 500, 1100 bucks. But they keep it afloat over that 1700 just for the next round. I like this.
2 rifles, of course, saved on over by Freshie and Paul alone. Need them to get activated, and they've been doing their job in terms of getting the necessary 1 or 2 kills, but now they've got to go one better. Beautiful clear there from MDS. Freshie could never get involved, and unfortunately that flash makes such a hell of a sound cue that they could never get involved. They can simply turn away. Darty can only get himself 1, and it's just a really ugly round there from Boss. I love the ideas, but the execution was something less to be desired.
Yeah, it really was, because you can even see that flash. I mean, that was the right idea that was coming in from Boss. It was a deep flash from CT, so Fang could go for the swing, but it was just a little too late. The timing was just a bit off, and it got really awkward, got really gross. But either way, things aren't going to be looking gross here for round number 8. Ops back into play. Pwn alone going to have the big green equipped one more time. Take Flight, instead of just hitting this A site over and over, they're going to go back for a 4-1 split here. Onto the B site, leaving Shadow by himself here, fighting this in mid. Does he expect Fang this close? He does not. So now a good start coming in from Boss. Leaving it now from Darty. He has to stay alive as long as possible, throwing all the utility in the world. The flash comes in. Darty's still popping ahead before he goes to the grave. But now it's Take Flight. They've taken over this kill feed, making it back to the 3-3. MDS survives somehow with Ponalo missing that shot just barely. Oh, you're going to be kicking yourselves.
They've got to get their way back in the site somehow, some way. That Molotov will buy them some time, but they've got to move through. They've got to offer up a kill, and MDS gets that kill back. Finally, Pwn alone finishes the job, but they've got to find a way to bully their way back in. There's only 1 kit left up on Pwn. They've got to find a way to dislodge CoJo, and they've got to figure out where Beaky has gone off to, and they haven't figured it out. There it is, through the site box as well. Take Flight have run away with this one. 6 rounds the good on this T side. And Boss have no answers. Love this decisiveness from this roster. This is why they're here to play in this close qualifier.
That's what we were talking about, right? I mean, we were saying, like, look, like, Take Flight was one of the teams that had to go through the open qualifiers. They had to fight their way here, whereas the Boss was an invited team, right? So now Take Flight have been able to get themselves a little bit more reps like we were talking about in the pre-show. And things are starting to really click now because Take Flight guaranteed having 6 this half. But the way we're seeing this, I mean, this thing could keep on moving even further and further right now. Boss just do not seem to have an answer on the CT side. CoJo once again able to start things off nicely here with an opener with the op. Beaky leading things, charging here with the AK. Cryptic just on the other side. A pistol can be deadly, but it's only 1 and done. Now it's going to be Take Flight again, just squashing this site. Do they clear the top corner? They do. But it's not going to matter at all. CoJo comes up massive with a triple kill. And Paladin, we're starting to see these players, they're popping off.
Yeah, that second frag from CoJo is everything. If he misses that, that's a potential op given over and only a singular player on the site itself. Maybe you can talk Boss coming back in that eco, but at the end of it all, it still is Take Flight reigning supreme at 7 rounds right now on this offense. Boss back into play. AWP out for Pwn alone. And a shot at bouncing back here. You know, 5 rounds on the CT side is still salvageable, so it's not over till it's over. But they're so adamant on this A ramp control. They're going to go straight in dry. Gabe will go down eventually, but there's Fang finally chiming in. Fang with the triple. That's the individual prowess that you're looking for. And man, oh man, do we need Fang to show up if you want to be a Boss fan here. Bomb will be recovered, but that's exactly what you need if you're Boss.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big thing here because I think that's some of that inexperience coming in from Take Flight, a bit of a miscommunication. But at the other side of the coin, that's what we wanted to see from Fang. That's where we talked about tons of experience, playing with complexity, playing with NRG, all these big names. And he finally comes alive when he needs to, finding that triple, which now puts him in a great position here for a conversation on this third round. But we're still leaving MDS and Shadow by themselves on a 2-on-4. A 3-player stack coming in from Boss right now. So the defense has put such a heavy lean on this A presence, leaving it to Darty by himself here, the B, playing very aggressive in the apartments. So they actually have an opportunity here where they can go on to Catwalk if they want. They have a flash, but they have no other utility really to make them have any coverage.
It's going to be real tough, but they're choosing actually the wrong site in this scenario. This is where the crossfire can get a little deadly. Cryptic gets the dink, but not the frag. And that forces Fang's hand under belt. So get one more to add to the tally, and it's the ace for Fang. What a way to break back in for Boss off the back of a huge performance by your debutant. I mean, that's everything that you could ask for, and that completely changes the dynamic of this round. They're going to take another tack timeout. They realize, look, that might not be the most replicable round to ask for from Fang, and instead just try to see what we can do in these last 2 rounds. Can Boss claim that 5-round defensive haul? Because that's where you really can still make a game out of this.
Yeah, definitely, right? And that's what I was kind of saying before is like both these teams, they don't thrive on CT side. So the fact that Boss, you know, if, like you said, if we can have them having a 7-5, that's actually not a bad thing, all things considered, right? It's going to come down to the pistol and starting things off for the second round, but we'll find out. They do take that tack. Very interesting timing. And like you said, I couldn't agree with you more. We talked so much about Fang because he's a recent addition to this team. That's never easy to do with a roster going through that, you know, bit of a roster shuffle. But it's a very interesting one just because it is Fang, right? We all know and love Fang. And finally, we get to see that, you know, pop-off moment from him, something we wanted to see forever. And we finally get a view of it.
Absolutely agree. And now, gotta find a way to build on that. Ponolo now charged up into the apartments, trying to find something. And he'll aggress alongside Darty. They want to clear out this part of the map as quickly as possible. Darty will have to keep his wits about him to clear out this close angle, and he will. That does prime in Pone's AWP as well. Gabe can't get the trade. And another instant 5v3 here for Boss to capitalize on. The opening gambit's finally working in their favor, but there's still a threat available on this A site. A contact out into the first letter of the alphabet, and now that forces Boss's hand. There could be a bomb plan available here, considering the forces are all around mid and all throughout the B bomb site.
Yeah, a lot's going to be relying if they can find something here. Fang, the timing is beautiful. He's able to get that. That's the bomb carrier too, I believe. And now he's able to find himself that second here, tapping away. Make it a third. Why not? Fang, he's starting to cook.
That's exactly what we needed, Laz. I mean, that makes me so excited. That's the 2020 Fang that broke onto the scene right there. I mean, better late than never, right?
Yeah, honestly, exactly. Now he's top fragging. He's hit that double digits here with Darty. And I love that execute coming in from them, right? Now we're going into the last round. We see that, you know, as Darty and Pone alone, they take, you know, full control of the B apartments. And now I'll take Flight. They're going to have to do something with a bit of a scramble by. CoJo does have the AWP, but the only thing complemented with it is a Galil and then Tech-9s with a Deagle with light utility. This is the worst kind of purchase you could be in. So a lot more pressure here for Shutout and also CoJo.
Of course, a lot of pressure on CoJo, but that is just the nature of this roster. Do need him to produce, and he has been in these after plants. But they gotta get the bomb down. They gotta get through Fang. This guy is quickly shut up the scoreboard. He's got to do another Herculean task from the back of the A site. Freshie will be here to take the first contact. Lights up one and completes the frag on MDS. So a chance now, but Polo is going to continue the good looks. Rifle goes down with shutout, and Fang will finally get one to complete onto Beaky. AK recovered for Gabe, but there isn't really a method in which CoJo can get this bomb down. Sure, you smoke off the jungle, but that smoke is not good enough. And there is just no real route for them back into this.
Well, that's a good start, though. Gabe does find that one, so now making it back to the 2 and
Okay.
2. Gabe with a second now. Okay, hang on a second. Things are starting to really cook up now. Darty coming from the back lines, and there it is. Darty with the backstab, and now we do get to see a 7-5 half, and somehow, in some way, take Flyte. They had a good lead, but they let it slip. But we're going to take that break as we get ready for the second half.
Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, 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 out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, 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 out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, 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 out.
I keep your picture in my room, 'cause it gets me in the mood. You still live free in my head. You got me so confused. My mind is full of you. Still want you in my room. Don't wanna get rid of you. On my mind right now, not too late. You got me so confused. My head is full of you. You keep slipping away. I learned the hard way. But something's gotta stay. Don't let it go to waste. Do you remember all of the long nights, warm in my bed, nightfall to sunrise? That's what you said. You held me so tight each time again. I keep your picture in my room. Don't wanna get rid of you. On my mind when I am up too late. You got me so confused. My head is full of you. Don't win silly games. Don't leave me hanging on. Keep me hanging. Said it once, I'll say it again. Your love is what I want. Do you remember all of the long nights, warm in my bed, nightfall to sunrise? That's what you said, and you had me so tight each time again. In my room, I'll keep you safe. Don't stay away too long, pulling back and forth. Still got me paralyzed. Got what you came for. One thing that I've kept.
All right, welcome back. We're ready to go. It's the first half of 7-5, and now it's going to be a switch over. Take Flyte here on their worst side on CT, and we're going to have to see if this is going to be a smooth ride or a bumpy one.
I have to point it out. Very interesting decoy situation. It sounds like a deagle was purchased, a decoy was thrown, and then the deagle was sold. I've never seen anything like that before, but I had to get it out of my nerd brain before the round actually starts. CoJo will start the proceedings, and that's a great kill to have outright, but it's double P250s to kickstart this T-side campaign, and they both sing very pretty. Freshie with 2, as well as Pone on 1. It's only CoJo in the back of jungle now, and he gets eradicated. Boss are right back to winning ways, and they look so good in that pistol round. I love the call to really back your P250 players and raid boss them, and it works wonders.
Yeah, it really does, right? I mean, it kind of looked like they were just in full control of that situation. It was a nice start coming in from Take Flyte. Like you said, CoJo was able to find those first initial opening duels, but It was really that boss just kind of came back, really didn't seem too phased by it, and here we are now, a 1-round differential from a tie game. Galil's now going to be purchased with the 1 AK here for Freshie. Double Mac 10s now. Going to be pushing into mid, but it's a full stack coming in from Take Flight, so a little bit of opposites, but this is a ton of information right now for Take Flight. If they get this timing, this could be actually pretty decent, but it's already starting to look like Fang's starting to clear things out in connector. This could bite them a little bit. Nades coming through. Take Flight still taking a slow, little bit of a stroll. One player here in the A site. CoJo, I don't think he's been spotted yet, but that nade, that's Beaky actually. He's going to get caught a little bit.
That one little nade and those couple of MAC-10 bullets that were fired has sold all of Take Flight to come back to the A site, and they'll realize, wait, what happened? Why is this site completely empty? And now, that offers up a lot of frags for Fang, but he can only muster one. Cash is made, but not as much as he would like. Chance now for Take Flight to maybe get something back, but I don't think there's really much for him to do here. Nice little dink, though.
Yeah, this is now just desperation for Take Flight. They're just trying to get something going. A nice little bit of a frag coming in from MDS. The fact he's got the Mac 10, so now he's going to get some extra coin here for that duel. 3 and 3. Now the players, I think they're just going for a bit of a hunt right now. There's one player still in the B site, but it's not going to matter. Time is just ticking too much. Now desperation, MDS just swings wide. Doesn't care at all. He's just trying everything he can. Shadow does get one more consolation prize, but that's going to be all she wrote. We're back to a tie game, and Paladin, that's such a good detail that you brought up, is the fact that that one nade came in, and you can see that Take Flight went down a ramp, and then with that noise cue, they're like, okay, let's go back to A, because that's where they're going. And like you said, they were kind of looking around like John Travolta, like, where'd they go? What's happening right now?
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. And now, honestly, best case scenario for Take Flight there, they brought it down to a 2-player situation for Boss. You know, you've got a Mac 10 kill as well on MDS, which allows for CoJoMo to purchase the AWP, but it'll be glass cannon, so there are repercussions for that purchase. We need him to come alive instantaneously. He's backing himself right into mid. It's dry. It's one flashbang, and that's it. They smoke window as well, and MDS gets absolutely rocked. So mid-control established for Boss, as they now can rule the roost on Mirage for at least the next minute and 25.
Yeah, tons of smokes coming in too, right? So now actually, I think it's Fang that's actually made his way into connector. So he goes through the smoke. He's not going to care at all. He's going to be posted up on this, still putting on some good pressure. And now these CTs are starting to lean a little bit more on this B site. You can already see that shutout, and even CoJoMo are going to be able to get their rotate coming in. So now, Boss is actually potentially walking into a bit of a trap. This could be a problem. This is going to be a full firefight now. Beaky waiting things out. Still 56 seconds remaining here, so Boss, they could pull back if they want to, but it's not looking like that's going to be. A ton of discipline coming in. Shutout gets spotted. CoJo with a nice little bit of reply back with the off. Looking for more. The bomb's still in control right now, but these CTs are starting to drop a little bit one by one. Beaky finds himself one, maybe two. Yes, he will. Now he's being a little bit of a smoke criminal. Vanishing. But it's not going to matter. This bomb's going to make it across. It does. Oh, no.
Now they're going to rocket back to the A bomb site where Beaky is trying to catch him red-handed, but Fang has made his way back into jungle as well. It's topsy-turvy here. These reads are good from Take Flight, but they can't find a way to break past them. I don't know how aware Fang is, and he isn't. The cinder block's a safe haven for Beaky, and now Freshie's got to come up big in the clutch. It's a chance for him to step up, but he can't, and just a little bit of a barrel spotted, and Beaky has a magnificent round here in round number 15 on the B side, getting that important double, and then another 2-piece on the retake on the A side as well. That's a tough round to piece together, but Take Flight make it happen.
They really do, and that's a big thing too. Like, Beaky's now sitting in a position of 17-9, right? We talked about him and CoJoMo are the two players statistically, I think we're like, look, these are the heavy hitting players. They have the higher stats. They really should be popping off, and they are. And I mean, even that last, 2v2 we saw, the noise cue came in from the CT player in connector where Fang was just sitting outside a window, and you could see he turned around to look, and by the time he looked back in window, he was a dead man. So it came down to that millisecond of the decision, which cost him his life, but now puts Take Flight back in the leading position for the time being. The bomb's going to make its way onto A ramp. CTs are trying to fight for a little bit of control. They have the information. Nothing's happening in middle yet, but do they expect somebody to be underpass this fast? Darty's already close on by. MDS has an inkling. Gets an easy spray. Second one done too. He's going to be able to give another haircut to Cryptic. And this thing's starting to fall apart very quickly right now for Boss. As they only have the last 3 remaining players coming into this A site. Need to try something a little bit desperate, but I think it's looking worse to wear. And there it is. A flawless round coming in from Take Flight.
That's massive for the economy. Really bolsters it for Take Flight. Would have loved any sort of economic damage there from Boss, but no can do. AWP will still be dropped over to Pone. And we have seen some significant impact from him on the defense, but of course, it's always much more difficult to find it on the offense. You don't get those after plant positions all too often. And finding opening picks as well against the likes of a CoJoMo on the other side is not going to be easy. But they're going to try their hand at the mid control once more, Boss. It's been very kind to them so far in this map. But actually converting off of this mid control has been a problem for them.
Yeah, it hasn't been good to them yet. But I'm a little bit worried, though, even for Take Flight. Again, the utility, it's a little lackluster, right? I mean, again, CoJoMo sitting full belt right now. Everybody else, like, pretty much sitting at 1, maybe 2 pieces of utility. So the CTs need to be very careful on how they utilize it. But now, once again, Fang leading this control into connector. Puts himself in a great position, but it's a question of what he can do with it. Bomb's just on the outskirts of B. Now leaning back on this, so it looks like it's going to be the A split. Take Flight have a good setup on this. 4 players are set up for this Paladin. This is a full read. This might be what CoJoMo was telling me about his preparations, the adjustments they've been making. They look like they have a full read on this situation. It's going to come down to this duel. Spots the head up. Pony just misses it by a pixel. Now the execute's coming in. Darty, freshie, starting things off. Needing somebody from the CT side to come alive, but no. It just falls apart, leaving it down to Beaky, the star player on a 1-on-5. But it's just way too much of a tall task, and there we go again, Boss. A flawless round for them.
Yeah, unfortunately, sure, you had 4 players on the A bomb site, but the crossfires were not solid enough. A lot of players, as soon as one part of that house of cards comes down, it all comes crashing down. And just that one missed shot from CoJoMo spells doom and disaster for Take Flight. They're kind of expecting to pounce on Boss, but instead they're locked in the cage with the T's. So it's a bounce back from Boss in an unlikely round. And now no op for CoJo means a little less potency from Take Flight. The funds are starting to run dry, and it looks like a little bit more of a contact play into this B side. Darty is ahead of that flashbang, and he gets a head right on a silver platter. Shutout goes out with nothing, and it's an open red carpet on this B bomb site.
Yeah, it really is. That's a huge opening duel. The fact that Darty's able to, you know, take the head of that player like that, that's massive. And now even Take Flight in a tough position, losing a player that fast, having a 5-on-4 when you're in the disadvantage, they have to save these, right? I mean, like we talked about, a bit of a scramble purchase. You have the double M4s with the FAMAS and the AUG, but yeah, they got to keep it going. They got to move it over to the next round. It's just not worth the cost. CoJoMo gets taken out as Fang. He's on a hunting spree right now. These players are going to be inside T spawn. MDS with a nice little bit of a reply, but these aren't going to mean anything. This is just kind of them surviving if they can, but the T's are just winning these duels. What are the CTs doing? Why are they peeking? Why are they fighting? And now, they make me eat my own words.
I mean, if you're going to save 4 players, you got to try to stay alive, right? You can't be dueling as often as you are. It's only going to be Beaky to hold on to an AK-47. And that'll be all she wrote, at least for round number 19, is going to be very lackluster. It's only going to be that rifle. Well, they could have had another full buy going into this one, should they tuck in. But Fang, Freshie, they do their job in spades. And now Take Flight have to bear the brunt of it.
Yeah, that was just such a mistake. And I mean, maybe that's some of the inexperience from Take Flight that we were kind of talking about, right? I mean, I feel like they should never have gone for that play, like going for those kind of duels. And it cost them so many rifles. This could have been a different round. Now they're just going to try to put pressure on the middle. Cryptic, he's spraying frantically, and he gets himself a double. Maybe that triple, yes, he will. Yeah, this is a quick one. I mean, this is, again, leading up to Beaky by himself, and Fang even gets a duel while he's fully blind. Yeah. Oh, good grief. This is not good. Beaky now in a position where he has to go for the 1-on-3 on his lonesome here. Just with full armor in the AK, no kit, nothing else. 11 bullets in the chamber. This is terrible odds right now, Paladin. I think Boss, they found themselves a 10th.
The fact that they're able to steal back this lead after being 7-2 down is very admirable. Showcases the winning mentality of Boss and holding strong at this point in the game. Great couple of eco frags to find for Cryptic. You know, sure, he is the IGL of the roster, but individually he can produce significantly for this roster. And, you know, getting those kinds of frags could be a huge boost of confidence for him individually as well. And I can't say that's a positive sign for Take Flight, but if you're a Boss fan, you'll be very happy with that as well.
Yeah, we knew that this was going to be a big start for the first map, right? I mean, we talked about the veto is pretty fair, I think, in terms of odds, right? I mean, now we're talking about the CT side for both these teams was not the greatest. Low win percentages, sitting at about that 30%, 34%. And right now, we're seeing Take Flight still have those glimpses of good moments, but like you said, Boston now put themselves back in the lead. And it's going to be a question about this one here for round number 20. A full investment coming in, no off for the CT side. It's going to be the rifles with the AK purchased. But instead, Boss, they're actually going to commit to the 4-1 split here in the A site. They're just going to do the full execute. This is a test to see how well Take Flight can handle this pressure. Smoke walls coming in now. Boss just running on through. A nice little pop here of the smoke and trying everything they can, but only a little bit of damage. CoJo waiting things out with a flash for his teammate. These smokes are becoming a problem. So much utility's already been burned here from the T side. This actually leaves a little bit of an opening here for the CT side for the time being right now, Paladin.
And as the smokes fade, they don't actually get the bomb down just yet. There it is. And now a 5v5 retake necessary for Take Flight to hold on and keep this game level. It'll be another reboost onto the top of CT. But nothing is being offered up too much. It's actually Darty that rips his head off.
What?
And now right back in with MDS through the boards of default. We'll get one more back. But this 3v3 is going to not be the prettiest sight. Another kill for MDS. But more trades back for Pone alone. And now it's all on a freshie. The flick back. Beautiful stuff there from him. And Boss get themselves an 11th and they eradicate the defense. Not a single rifle is saved on over. What a 5v5 post plant there from Boss.
Oh, man. And it comes down to the 1v1. And yeah, like you said, MDS was the player that was, starting to get the multi-kill, starting to flow things through. And it comes down to Freshie just getting the last bullets here to get themselves at 11. Man, that was an absolute bar burner of a round. But my goodness, now Take Flight have to go for the light pistols again. They're going to be kicking themselves. They had a good position on that. It just didn't seem like they had any other reply than just the double boost in CT like you were talking about. And now look at the position they're in. 5-7s with Deagles. A P250, we're crying out loud. This is not the best position at all right now for Take Flight. They need to pray for somebody to find something big. Somebody needs to find an opening.
A Deagle headshot would be an absolute luxury right now. But nothing found just yet. Instead, damage the other way. 28 HP on Shutout. 64 HP on CoJo as well. Flash into the apartments, and there is that luxury that we spoke of. Cryptic going down instantly and an upgrade for MDS. Still has a little bit of HP to boast as well. And with that, Boss are fearful. They want to pull back, especially considering Fang has con control. Maybe it's a reroute back in the A site, and that would be the right call, considering the triple sack is there on the B bomb site.
Yeah, now it's going to be a pullback here coming in. I mean, the HP is so low for some of these CTs. That's so scary, right? And
Gabe
now,
heard that.
yeah, he's got all the information. You can see that. Even though he doesn't get the kill, that's a ton of information. That's such a good point, Paladin. So now the rotates are coming through. It's definitely going to be faster than normal, but Fang, once again, lurking, trying what he can. He might get this timing shutout. He should. Oh my goodness, I thought he might have been a dead man. Oh, okay, this thing is just falling apart. Timber, and there we go. The 5-7 cannot solidify any sort of a reply than just one duel. Now we're sitting on map point here in favor for Boss and Take Flight. They get one more crack at this here. Well, they got a few more. They got to try something, though, but this is the round they need as they got the op ready to go. CoJoMo locked in, no utility. But what do they do differently now, Paladin?
It's got to be those aggressive takes. I mean, the gamble from them in the initial stages of the CT half were good, but now they don't really have the right reads of the situation. They're not taking any part of the map very aggressively. They've been giving over mid control very consistently. They haven't taken apartments. They haven't taken Palace. And now, Boss kind of can do whatever they want on this T side. Bang very early into Catwalk and the bench side, but Beaky will still get the frag. Nice kill for him. He's been a real shining light for this Take Flight roster. We need a little bit more from him. Finding a little bit more apartments presence from Take Flight, and that's more like it. Taking down Freshie, giving themselves a 5v3, and a chance to keep giving this game a little bit more life.
No, definitely. And this smoke from MPS too. He's gonna walk through it. Oh my goodness! Can't even land a shot, but Cryptic gets 2! How does he find that double like that? CoJoMo missing the op shot. Oh no, but somehow he gets the corner of the wall bang. What is he opening right now? CoJo's a dead man. He gets roasted alive. This round is just bizarre. I don't even know what to call it. Leaving it to the 2v2. Now down to Beaky, but both these players are low. A combination of 26 HP remaining on the 2 players. This is an opportunity. Beaky might be able to find something here. A piece of utility burned away as the flash. Kit in front of him. But the question is, can he be able to find these players? Oh my goodness, and there's stuff. Oh my, that was so close. Now it's a double player stack. He's going to be a dead man, and there it is. Boss going to be able to get themselves the 13-9 victory on the map pick for Take Flight.
So we saw that the initial game plan really worked there from Take Flight, and I think whatever CoJo said, I don't think it was a lie. I think it did. You could very clearly see it, that they had that initial game plan to get the ball rolling. But the fact of the matter is, you're going up against a roster that is completely out of